Hello, everyone, and welcome to another My Music. In a minute, I'm going to be speaking to the wonderful Betts and find out a little bit about her music, and everything else. But first, we're going to have the intrepid people at Analog Trash giving us this to wake us up at whatever time of the day you're listening to.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Thank you, Betts, for joining me today and kind of getting me out of the gripe that I'm in at the moment from a day of Teams meetings and Zooms. I mean, do you hate the online world of
I feel your
meeting
pain.
after meeting? Yeah, you get it? It's just so much of it these days, isn't it? It's almost like we never actually see the outside world. There
But
we go.
also those meetings, do you ever really get an outcome? It's like, yeah, let's have a meeting, but okay, what do we achieve?
Do you know what's the outcome at most meetings you go to? Isn't it
Another meeting.
another meeting? Yeah. Oh, my word. My word. Now, just before we came on, we were talking about glasses. You need your glasses. I need my glasses to see, etc. You said you were blind without them, and you said that your partner loses their glasses all the time. I said we should make a song out about it because it's a great idea. I mean, I have tried these things, but they do look a bit granddaddy, and I don't really like.
You could
you
get
know
a
what I mean?
funky like chain one, like they're in, I think.
Yeah.
Make
Okay.
it rocky, you know.
I could try that. I could rock a chain on my old glasses. But those are both those things are kind of like, ordinary life, but they're little gripes and whatever. Do you find those kind of things quite inspiring, really, as an artist?
Little gripes.
Little gripes in life, little things that kind of get on your nerves a bit, but
They'll probably get on my nerves first. You know, we've got to go through a process of emotion. So yeah, I'll be annoyed, but then I could probably make it into something a little bit spectacular.
yeah. What's the main thing that kind of really motivates you to write?
Personal experiences.
There you go. You see?
Yeah. And glasses is one of them. So here we go. That's the next single.
Zoom meetings, and all of that malarkey. When did you first start putting pen to paper, as it were?
I think in my teens, so maybe like 13.
Yesterday.
Stop it. Yeah, around that time. I mean, whether I knew I was writing a song or not, I don't know, but I was writing something. So
I love that. Whether I knew I was writing anything. What did that look like in early days? Just writing words, etc., singing to yourself?
Yeah, making rhymes, I guess, and yeah, finding instrumentals to mess around with. And I did also start gigging quite early as well in like the local pubs and stuff.
Wow.
With a guitarist, so that was pretty cool. That was a fun start.
Cool. Can you remember the first ever song where you took someone else's song and you made up all of the words to it with your own words? Can you remember that?
God, I don't know if I have.
Have you never done that?
Surely I must have done. Questioning myself now.
Yeah, oh, come on, everybody's done that, haven't they?
Yeah, probably when I was a lot younger, like child. Probably.
Yeah. Can you remember what was the first song that you can really remember that got stuck in your head like earworm?
There was definitely dance routines and miming going on in the playground at primary school.
Yeah.
And that would have been either Spice Girls or Atomic Kitten.
Oh, Atomic Kitten. I went to see them live once.
Did you?
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to say anything more.
Leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
Someone actually stole my Atomic Kitten CD at school, and I was very upset about it.
Really? My word.
I know.
I mean, that's a criminal offence right
really
there.
Is. Yeah.
Yeah. Which of the Atomic kittens were you most wanting to be?
The blonde one, or all of them. Yeah. Are they all blonde?
Well, no. Yeah, I can't remember their names.
I can't remember their names. That's bad.
I think the one that took the lead vocals more often than not was Natasha. Is that right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
It's ringing a bell.
Yeah,
it is.
I think she had auburn hair or etc. But yeah, what a great pop combo they were at the time. Yeah. So that was kind of the start of your journey in terms of music. All of those, what a great time to be born and into that as well, like girl power and all of that. Did it resonate with you that that women were getting really, starting to be seen as?
I guess in a way, yeah, but also that's all I knew, because like having been born and then growing up in that era, I didn't know anything else. I didn't know there was another.
Yeah.
I know there's incredible like male performers and artists, but
did it come as a bit of a shock a bit later on when you discovered that actually men still get the lion's share of attention when it comes to music?
Yeah, 100%. And not just like, front people, it's like producers and musicians. It really is still male dominated, which I'd like to see a change in my time.
There's so many people that say, but that's surely not true, because but it really is.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why we have so many female artists on this show, is because there's a complete imbalance. And actually, when I look at a lot of the interview shows that are out there, a lot of them have got male artists all the time. That's the whole roster, etc. And that's what's getting plugged by people. Nothing wrong with male artists. I have male artists on here as well. But we do have to make more room for female artists.
Definitely.
That is for certain. What would you love to see happen in your lifetime in the world of music as a change?
I guess one of the big, humongous problems right now is that it's not financially stable for people, unless you're Beyonce, obviously, but like the rest of us
who can afford 72 people to help write her album.
Exactly. We're kind of wearing many hats all at once, making content. We've got to be on TikTok, Instagram, whatever else decides to pop up one day soon, YouTube. We've got to sing, we've got to write the songs, we've got to like the songs, we've got to perform the songs. Like the hats are never ending. But yeah, that, and then just, that would be totally wonderful. I wouldn't mind doing all of that if the finances were adding up as well. And
if like you looked at the hourly rate and and at the end of the week and you thought, well, hang on a minute, I could go down Tesco's, other supermarkets are available, and earn £12 an hour, and now I'm getting not even 30p an hour.
Yeah,
for the end of it. Yeah. What do you think could change that?
I guess the people, who already have a platform to sort of stand the ground, because we are only talking about like 2 or 3 streaming platforms here that are just absolutely making a killer profit, and we're just not seeing what we should for our art, for the things that we make. So I just I think there is a very, very small shift starting to happen, or at least people are starting to talk about it. So I think it's possible.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a bit more than a small handful of us.
Almost needs something very disruptive to happen there, though, because the problem is that consumers are going to say, yeah, but you keep putting the price of my subscription up to X platform and whatever. Actually, that was a bad thing to call it, wasn't it? X platform, because that doesn't as a platform. Certain streaming platforms, but you keep putting my price up, subscription price up. I'm not getting anything different. I'm literally just getting, the same music. In fact, you're probably taking music off of it all of the time, whatever else as well, which is worrying. And so therefore consumers will want that price to stay low, but they don't understand how that price isn't necessarily getting disseminated out to everybody that they like. It's almost as though what needs to happen is where somebody comes along with some kind of structure where you can say, I want more of my money to go to these people, you know?
And there is platforms like that, you know, that have been around for a long time, like Bandcamp, SoundCloud,
Exactly.
whatever, you know, like that is an option, but you also then don't get perhaps the amount of audience you could get, because majority of people are using streaming platforms in my experience. So
it's always worth pointing out. I mean, you just mentioned Bandcamp. I think Bandcamp's a great example of one that is trying to kind of turn the tide the other way. Do you find that Bandcamp's good for you? Do you?
So I used it like years ago, right at the start of my career, and yeah, it was great. I didn't, you know, it's easily accessible for your audience and for the people who want it, and there's no set price either, which I quite like, so they can pay what they think it's worth.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
great.
No
one's ever paid me anything for any of my music that's on there, but then that's perfectly fair, because the 2 tracks that I've got on there are pretty awful. No, they're pretty weird. Let's not say.
I want to listen to them now.
They're pretty weird. Go and find me on there. They're very electronic. One of them features an amazing vocalist called Artemis, who very kindly let me use her vocal stems for my monstrosity. But it's a great platform, and I do recommend it to anybody that really wants to support artists, especially on Bandcamp Fridays, when all of the money goes to artists as opposed to into the profiteering shares of the business, which is good. What are you working on right now?
So I'm actually doing a little bit of dance music at the moment, which I'm really enjoying.
Does that mean you have to learn to dance, or were you a natural dancer?
Dance.
You can dance.
No, so I'm working with this guy called Tengu, who's really cool. We did a track together last year, which did really well. It's kind of drum and bassy rather than just dance.
I love drum and bass.
We started a new one recently, and I'm quite excited about it.
Yeah, is that drum and bassy too? Is that?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Did you when you sort of move off into a sort of different genre for you, do you then go and sort of do your research and go sort of back through, like, you know, artists that were very prevalent in that particular thing? Did you go and sort of like look up Ronnie Side and Goldie and people like that? Did you get into? You know,
not really. Like, I have a love of like 90s dance music anyway, so that's all up here.
That's there.
Drum, I think, like, initially when I started going into the genre, I found it quite difficult because the lyrics themselves need to be quite basic, and then there's a lot of repetition as well, and
you've got to hold notes. You've got to hold notes over
exactly
quite a lot going on underneath, right?
You'd think that would be easier than writing quite a strong lyrical song, but actually it really isn't. Like, getting the balance right and making sure that the words you do use are interesting enough to like catch people in to listen to it. So it's been a learning curve, but no, it's good. I'm enjoying it.
That's right. You need to go and listen to stuff like Inner City Life, and because that's the thing. You only need those 1 or 2 words. It has to build a very big picture.
Exactly.
Doesn't it? With good 1 or 2 words. Yeah, thank you. I thought of that myself just now. What are we going to see from you then going forward? Are you going to keep changing genre? Are you going to hop between genres? And
I mean, I literally had this conversation with someone the other day, and I'm not like a heavy metal rocker screamer. That's never going to be my bag. But I also don't want to put myself into a box of like, I will just do this forever and that's it. Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
My earlier stuff.
Will it always be pop? Do you think?
With an element, a sprinkle, maybe. Just a little. Yeah. But like, my earlier stuff was way more poppy, and then now it's kind of moving into more like R&B, soul, you know, and I also really like jazz and like the sound of jazz, and I feel like my vocals really suit jazz. So
you're going to go into your Ezra Collective
exactly.
kind of.
You never know what's going to happen.
That's going to be cool. So, I mean, because talking about sort of jazz and like new jazz is really, you know, really big at the moment. There's a lot of artists that have really kind of, you know, come up from the streets jazz wise, and they're doing a really great thing. Do you listen to any of that? And is there anyone you'd love to work with in the future on stuff like that?
I am a humongous fan of Ray, and I've been an OG fan for many years. You know, she was doing dance music for a really long time because that's what the label wanted, and now she's just sort of blossomed into this jazzy, soulful queen, and I absolutely love it. That would be like dream.
Yeah, that would be the, like, you know, if Ray phoned you up tomorrow and said, "Come on, my dear, support slot, you got to do Royal Albert Hall with me," you'd be like, oh, "Just let me check my diary."
I might need resuscitating first, but yes, I'll be there.
Sorry, I've got a wedding that day and the dentist and whatever, but it's cancelled. Don't worry, I'll be there. Yeah. Fantastic. Love the mirror in the background, by the way. And is that a hat or something on the top?
There is a hat there, yes, and some fluffy earmuffs because it's bloody cold outside.
Yeah. Are you quite into dressing up then, and not in a bad way, but you know?
It's funny because like I probably look how I look now. Not even 10% of the time. I'm into my comfy clothes and I like to just chill, but I am very much also into fashion. Like if I've got something going on, a gig, something like this, then I like to make an effort.
Do you think like as you progress and you know obviously become famous and start, you know, touring with people like Ray and whatever, do you think you could in some way resurrect more fashion into the sort of pop culture? I mean, because let's face it, especially to do with merch and whatever, and I'm not decrying this because I've been sent a lot of t-shirts, right? And thank you very much. I've got about 50 in my drawer at the moment from artists. But do you think you could introduce something that with a little bit more flair into the whole merch?
Definitely, I would love to do that. I mean, I've got a big fluffy hat that's been on tour a few times. Maybe I should make branded fluffy hats and send them out.
I think fluffy hats could be.
I think we've just come up with a wonderful idea there.
I think fluffy hats could be brilliant. You know, especially if the weather continues to be as cold as it is in the UK.
Exactly.
You know, it's a bit daft actually. We all go to gigs in a t-shirt. And it's really difficult. It's really difficult because you want to show that you're supporting the person that's up there or whatever. But we all stand outside for like 2 hours before they let us in. Going, you know. Then we finally get in. Then you're hot for a bit, which is all right. And then you come back out after being hot, and we'll go like that. And we all have hypothermia the next day and pneumonia, and then have to have a day off work because it's it's bad. You know, going to gigs is bad for your health, but still carry on going. You know, that's the important thing. How can people, if you could talk to your fans out there, how can your fans help you get to the next level? What is it that you need your fans to do?
Sign up to my mailing list.
Right, that's
a big one. You know, I'm trying to build less of a spreadsheet of random people and more of a list of community friends. You know, I don't really like the word fans. It makes me feel a bit like a community, like friends that I've met online who like my music. Like I got a message from someone a few days ago after a gig, and she said about how much she had connected with the song and like found it super relatable. And that's literally all I'm trying to do. Like if my song reaches someone and they think, oh, like I'm not the only person suffering in that kind of way, then my job's done. I'm happy.
It's really important. We're going to invite you. This is a new thing, by the way, but we're going to invite you into the MyMusic community after this as well. yesterday had 4 new musicians sign up into the
Nice.
community. It's good. It's good. And actually, I'll announce this right here now in your interview, that I'm going to use it to try and help some artists as well monetize their community as well.
Mhm.
Right? Because you know everybody needs help with that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a bit of a techie. I love all of that sort of stuff, and I'm really good at. I outside of this, I kind of build communities for a living. So I'm just trying to help people build community and
Nice.
get in touch with people. I think that would be really good. If you want to join that as well, we'll give you the instructions after this.
Yes, please.
There we go. So what about, how do you write your music? Do you play anything? Are you quite musically talented yourself?
I kind of feel like I could be if I had the attention span for it, but I have not up to this point. I can play a few chords in guitar, same on keyboard, piano.
Now listen. Do you know what the chords are?
No. I just know how to play them. I never even thought of that. Oh my god.
Do you know what? It's the best way though. So you play by ear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love that.
My brother is actually incredible at that. He has a big electronic piano at home, and he's taught himself so many things on piano. I'm just like, how have you done that? How?
I used to annoy the hell out of musicians who know chords and stuff, because they, I'd get together with them and they'd go, right, so you're playing that, and then they say, so now just move that to an A sus diminished whatever, and I'm like, what?
It is. It's like another language.
Show me where I put my fingers. Basically it. I used to actually start gigs by saying, this one's in the key of Yale. And see, that got everybody confused.
I think if you can play, you can play,
Yeah.
If you don't know what the numbers are and the letters.
So how do you relay what your ideas are to a producer, etc.? How does that work?
So I use multiple places, but like YouTube for instrumentals, or we might start from scratch in the studio with my producer, or I might come across something that I really like certain aspects of that I've already just written really quickly to because I like it that much, and then send it to him, and then he'll sort of remake it and with his own wizardry.
Yeah. How often does sort of a melody that you come up with end up being exactly what's on the final thing, or does it get changed quite a bit?
It definitely changes from like the first demo, I guess. Or I'd find like a voice note on my phone of a song that I've now released, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, it doesn't even it is quite different, but I guess
I know it doesn't sound anything like that now.
Yeah. It's just the process, I guess. Like, it's the way it happens.
Yeah. What gets changed more, the melody or the words? Do the words stay fairly?
I'd say the melody slightly. Like, the producer I work with most, he's really good at like musicality, and he plays loads of instruments. He's a producer, and he can hear when things aren't how he thinks they should be, if that makes sense. So like, he's good at swapping certain things out. So he's helped me a lot with things like that.
I think it's great that this whole generation of like songwriting is very different in a way from previous generations of songwriting. It seems to me that just because of the internet, I think there's much more accessibility for people that have got ideas in their heads to come across other people who are very musically talented on instrumentation or production or whatever, and find each other and bring those things together. Whereas years ago, like when we first started, I wrote stuff all the time at school, and then I discovered a group of friends who were like making a noise in their in this room lovely practice room actually that they had with lead-lined walls. It's probably why we've all got lead poisoning. And they practiced all the time, and but it was just music. And then they said, one day I just went round there and I said, "Oh, I've got some words," and they said, "Oh, right." They said, "Well, none of us sing," and I said, "Well, I'll sing it," and then that was it. And that was just
nice.
Do you know what? But it was like, if that hadn't have happened, that probably wouldn't have happened, if you know what I mean. But these days you can go on the internet and you can find people, because people are like, saying, "Oh, I've got skills in this area." And it's interesting, isn't it, how that's a great thing about the internet and music making these days, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. I'd never even thought about it like that before, to be honest. So yeah, I'd be pretty screwed without the internet, but it is also the bane of a lot of our lives, with the constant posting and the algorithms and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely got its good sides. But
I mean, one of the things that I talk to young musicians about a lot is trying to find their own voice outside of the music as well. Is there anything else you think that you've got unique talents in, or an interest in, that you think that you might incorporate into this journey as another thing to get people interested in you outside of the music? Like, say for example, I do podcasts, get a lot of musicians now do podcasts, or some musicians write books or do reviews of other musicians. What is there anything else that you potentially might do outside of just the music?
Does it have to be music related? Like,
No,
I think
I'm quite crochet, couldn't it?
It could. I'm quite creative in like many ways. I also love cooking. I used to do a lot of art, and I don't really do that now, which seems a shame.
Cooking. Do you know what? We are due a cook, right? Would that be great, wouldn't it? If we actually
cook.
had. Well, do you know what I mean? If you think back to like when Jamie Oliver first came on the scene, and he was known as the Naked Chef, and kind of all of that, trying to bring a bit of sort of sexy energy into cooking and whatever, and it then followed with a lot of TV chefs. Wouldn't it be great if we had a chef on the TV that perhaps did a cooking demonstration, then did a song? You want that TV poke.
I mean, it sounds a little bit chaotic, but why not?
Wouldn't it be great? Well, it sounds quite sort of 1980s game showish as well. Maybe we could kind of segue that in for good measure as well, But yeah, why not? Cooking, that would be good. What sort of thing are you good at cooking?
Just homemade stuff from scratch,
Is it baking or meals?
Both.
Ooh.
And I also recently got diagnosed celiac, so my life was slightly ruined a little bit initially. I'm okay now. I've got over it.
So you could do a special recipe book for celiacs and include your CD with it.
Yeah, just put it in the back.
Yeah. Well, there was one of my favorite artists, Christian Hirsch. She actually released 2 of her albums as books, and she got a book publishing deal rather than a CD publishing deal for those.
Nice.
Which is quite clever, because then you
that is very clever.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. So you could go that route. You see, you could have your book out there. It could be a #1 bestseller, but your album would be #1 as well. You see, just in a different. Oh.
You're just too smart. You've got it all figured out.
I do spend my day doing marketing for people, so
okay.
It kind of goes with the territory. What's the great ambition for BETTS? And by the way, it's a great name. Where did I didn't even start with that, but where did the name come from?
It's just a nickname.
It's a great nickname.
My full birth name is only said to me by my mother when she's angry, so we can't be using that. No.
Ever. Do you let other people know your name? Is it on Wikipedia or anything?
It depends. I mean, I'm not like afraid to like share it. It's not a secret, but
you should. Well, but you should keep it secret, because then that way it's more intriguing, and then people need to try and find out.
I'll do that.
I think it's good. I do the same with my middle names, which don't appear there, by the way. But it's my middle name's a DJ, which sounds great. And actually, when I did DJ for a while in clubs in London, I used to use it in the name because it, but I hate those two middle names, so I'm not telling anyone. Right? You have to be in the inner circle to know.
Can I guess?
Yeah, you got them.
How bad are we talking?
Really bad.
DJ. It can't be something like Daniel. That's too obvious.
No, that's too good. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay. After we're stopped recording.
After we stop recording, you get to find out. Everybody
Okay,
else.
nice.
If you want to find out, you have to come into the community. There you go. I'll let you know in the. So what's the great ambition then? Where would you like to take this?
I just want to be able to tour Europe, England, maybe America if the opportunity arose.
Nice.
I'd like to be earning enough to support making new music, going on tour, doing all that, and living a comfortable life, and building a wonderful community of like-minded people. Well,
you're getting noticed. You've had the BBC introducing, haven't you, etc.
Yeah.
Which has presumably been good for you.
Yeah.
Are you off the back of that? Are you doing any gigs this year, or are you doing any performances that have come off the back of that?
No, not yet. But
what's the matter with it? Make it happen?
How dare you? My introducing at home, I've had a lot of support from them, and they still support me now, even though I don't live in the area anymore. So that the one that got uploaded and played by the East Sussex, that was the dance track, and I've been trying to get them. I've been sending them my own soulful vibes, and I'm still waiting for a little play here. Okay.
Well, look, obviously we're going to tag Ray into the when this goes out. Is there anybody else that's out there at the moment that you would love to support, or go on tour with, that we should tag in so that we get their attention?
Ooh, now you're asking.
I am.
That's a tough one. I tell you what, it's a bit controversial, but Sugar Babes they've been doing a lot recently, and I used to love them growing up. So that would be pretty cool, I think. Even just to meet them.
I think the Sugar Babes are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't knock Sugar Babes. Well, look, let's face it, there's only one Sugar Babes album that you can knock, right? Which is the one where none of the original people were.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Sugar Babes are back now together as the original three. Cracking outfit. There you are.
And they're performing at Brighton Pride this year.
Are they?
It's very exciting, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you should get yourself down there and just hold up a banner and say, "Me on stage."
Pick me.
If you're volunteering out there, by the way, if you live in the Brighton area and you'd like to go down with Betts that day, stand with her and go, "Betts on stage, Betts on stage," until she actually gets on stage with the Sugar Babes. Catapults her career into stardom. Just let us know. Just get in touch. She'd love that to happen. We can't pay you or anything like that.
I'll pay you in snacks and drinks.
But she will take some of her home baked cookies for the day,
There you go.
And there you go. And you can enjoy one of those. That's brilliant. I think you should. That's another idea for merch, isn't it? You should have like home baked BETTS cookies. Great.
That is.
That would be great.
If you can't get them on board, then feed them, and I'm sure that will win them over.
Hey, look, it's the UK. You know, food is the route to everybody's stomach in the UK. Listen, I hope you all the best for the future. You've been an absolute star. Thank you so much for coming on today. This is the wonderful BETTS. We want you to go and explore her music now. Okay, so that means leaving this area of Spotify or whichever platform it is that you're listening on, and literally it's just a little hop and a step over.
Just a search bar away.
Just a search bar away into the whole music section. And what we will do as well is we are so just to make it even easier, because if you're following this show, you may well have followed the podcast playlist as well, the MyMusic podcast playlist. So we're going to just go and add one of BETTS' songs onto that as well, and then it's just there for you, and that's easy. And then all you've got to do is add one of her songs onto one of your playlists, right? And then and then go and share it with all of your friends, and you just watch the snowball happen. It's a brilliant thing. We will have you back sometime. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
If you've enjoyed this has been all of BETTS' fault, not mine. If you've disenjoyed it, it's probably been because you've been listening to me waffle on. Until next time, thanks for taking the time out to listen to us.